Hi, and welcome to this new Result 11 tutorial. Today we are going to talk about an international marathon where the times are recorded at the start, at the 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer, half marathon, 30 kilometer, and 40 kilometer splits, of course at the finish line, and we will also add one system with side antennas for the announcer to see who's crossing the line at the moment. So let's have a look at the results we want to produce. First, we want to have a live result list that allows the public to follow their participants. So the live list should allow people to follow all the 15,000 participants. So here we see that the event is taking place at the moment, and here we have our elite athletes who just finished, and we see the time where they crossed the finish line, their net time, bib and number, bib and name, and then we also have the field that displays the expected finish time and the expected net time. And of course, this is blank here because our elite athletes are already finished. But let's say we are looking for Samantha Campbell. Okay, I'm following my friend. So our friend's name is Samantha Campbell. I will add her as a favorite. And I also want to follow Alexander Clark. Okay, now if I filter to show only my favorites, I see that Samantha is doing really well because she crossed the 30 kilometers mark at 10:50 in 1 hour 33, and she's expected to cross the finish line at 11:38 in 2 hours 21 minutes, which is awesome. Now Alexander is doing really well as well because the system calculates an estimated finish time of 2:45, which is also good. Okay. Now, if we go back to the overview, we also want to publish final results. So the rank, bib and name, and the finish time. And also, if we click on the participant, we want to see his name, his gender and age group rank, his overall speed and pace per kilometer, or his splits, and we also want to show a link to his finisher photos and finish line video, and to his personal certificate. So this is what we want to do. Now let's have a look at how to do it. So here in Result 11, I set up standard events file, and then I imported my 15,000 participants. Then in main window, I set up the date and location as usual. Let's switch directly to the participants. I added just one additional text field to let participants know in the participants list in which wave they start, depending on their time objective. And I use this also to differentiate the elite from the rest of the participants. Now let's jump directly to the core of our event file. That's the results. So here we have the brutto and netto time. There we have all the times that are recorded by the systems at the start: 10K, 20K, half marathon, 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers, finish, and spotter. Now we will calculate the split after each of these timing points. We will also calculate the 10 kilometers legs, so the first 10K, second, third, fourth, and then the first half and second half. So these we will display to show the participants if they were faster or slower on the first or on the second half. But we will also use it in the second part of the results to calculate the estimated finish time. Okay, here we find the same results as in our triathlon learning example. You can go back to that for more information. Those results are used to know where are the participants, where they were detected last. Okay, so a bit more information about how to calculate the estimated finish time. So the estimated finish time is mainly a factor, well, the result of three factors. That's the current pace, the remaining distance, and the last split. Okay, so let's go back to our infographic. My friend Alexander Clark just crossed the 10K split here, so we want to know what time he will be at the finish. So to calculate this, we need to calculate the current pace, multiply it by the remaining distance, and add the last split. So concretely, what it says is, my friend Alexander started at 9 o'clock 33 seconds, and he crossed the 10 kilometers split at 10 o'clock 12 minutes 40 seconds. So it took him 39 minutes and 17 seconds to run the first 10,000 meters. If I multiply the time by the distance, this gives me the current pace. And then if I multiply the current pace by the remaining distance, this gives me the remaining time, okay, the remaining running time. Then if I add this remaining running time to the last split, I will have my estimated finish time and my estimated finish net time. So that's what we are doing here. The current pace depends on the last split idea, and to be most accurate, when we are at 10K, we will take the pace on the first 10K, of course. Then when we are at 20 kilometers, we will take the pace on the second 10K, because it's most likely that the participant may have slowed down a bit. All right. Now let's jump to our output window, and there we set up a live list. Again, I won't go in so much detail because it's pretty much the same as in the triathlon learning example, so you can go back to this one. We'll just go to the spotter list. So as shown on the infographics, we want to enable the announcer to follow the race on a tablet and to know which participant is going to cross the line next. So here we set up a live finish line output list where we sort by the time 17. That's the time of day at the spotter system, and we sort it in the reverse order. Then we display the bib and the name and the time, and there, if the participant hasn't crossed the line yet, we will display it in red, the finish line, and if not, if he has crossed the line, then he will be in black. Okay, so this gives us this result. Here we have the participant who just crossed the spotter but haven't crossed the finish line yet. So it gives us our name, and the speaker can already give them names, and then when they cross the finish line, he can announce their net time. Okay, so how to activate the announcer tool? You just go to Tools, Announcer, then you can configure it. So in the Results tab, I will show the final results, and in the Live tab, I will display the live just for the elite participants and the live on the finish line. So let's start the announcer tool. So here the announcer has an overview of how many participants have started and how many have finished. You can go to the results to check the final results as they are coming in. And then during the event, you can follow the elite athletes. And when all the elites are done, he can switch to that screen to announce all the other finishers. Okay, and just as in the triathlon learning examples, as an addition to the age group statistics that are already set up, and to the result statistics that tell me how many participants finished have which result, and to the time statistics that let me know how many participants finished in the same minute. I also created, again, a split and status overview that is really useful for the organizer to know exactly how many participants are between each split. So here we see how many participants are, for example, between the start and the 10 kilometers. And if I click on that number, this will give me a list of all those participants. Okay. And then if after a few hours I still have people there, I can assume that they are DNS or DNF, and then I can just set their status to did not finish, so that I know where all my participants are. All right, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more learning examples.